Broadway World Philippines, from Oliver Oliveros. Your name will always be attached to the Phantom of the Opera. How do you feel about the show evolving to be more diversified since it has cast its first Black Christine on Broadway?
Sorry, say that last bit again. I didn't quite hear you there.
It's all right.
Say the
Your name
question
will
again.
always be attached to the Phantom of the Opera. How do you feel about the show evolving to be more diversified since it has cast its first Black Christine on Broadway?
Do you know the wonderful thing about Phantom of the Opera, and we never even thought about it at the time. We were just all trying to put on a show. But what I do remember about it was that it, right from the start, it worked. However we worked with the story, whatever we changed, it just, everything worked about it. It was one of those pieces that were meant to be. It was like a sort of wonderful jewel, a wonderful story that everybody sort of could relate to. So no matter, with all the performers, no matter what sort of creed, what color, wherever anybody came from, it's, if they're really wonderful at what they do in the singing and the acting and everything, they're just perfect for the part. And so it's been lovely watching the sort of legacy, in a way, that all of us that were working together at that time, and especially for myself and Andrew Lloyd Webber, that really, that's, you know, he wrote the music very much formed on my voice and me being there, because at the time I was very young and very very sort of going through a lot of my training, and he learned a huge amount about that, so he was able to sort of follow in a way through the story my life as well, and him being the composer. So those two characters, sort of like a Christine and a Phantom almost, sort of creating all of this wonderment. And so it's a pleasure to see all the new performers coming up and taking on these roles. It's wonderful. So yes, whatever the world brings, whatever sort of diversity there is and difference, it's all a wonderful thing, because at the end of the day, people are just showing how wonderful they can be playing those roles that we all initiated and started.
You suddenly got me thinking about Andrew Lloyd Webber, you know, coaching you through the whole endeavor of the Phantom of the Opera. It got me thinking of, sing, Sarah, sing for me. How was the line of the Phantom there? I'm sure Andrew Lloyd Webber told you to do that. Literally.
It's kind of art mimicking life, really. I mean, that's what that show was about. Not completely, obviously, a fair amount of Hollywood goes into it, but
yeah, of course. Yeah, some pizzazz and drama.
There were a lot of personal things in that. There were a lot of personal things in that piece, which is, I think, one of the reasons why it works, because it very much came from the spirit of the people that were working on it and trying to make it work at that time. And, you know, as you know, with just art that you look on in museums or on walls or whatever, the most special pieces are the pieces that really come from the artist's soul and what they've been through in their life and what they think about. So that show, in a way, Phantom of the Opera, is a little bit like that.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for sharing also those bits and pieces from your time at the Phantom. All right, here's another question from Manila Bulletin from Annalyn Husay. You've led a very illustrious career as an artist. What remains to be on your bucket list? So this is interesting.
You know, I mean, there are lots of wonderful things. I could keep making music. I would like to work on sort of composing more as I get older. But there are things that I really feel I missed out on, which are sort of school things. Like I would have liked to have got a degree in English. I would have liked to have done philosophy. I'd have liked to have worked more on my piano, those kind of things. So they're my sort of personal bucket list things which I want to do. And it's very funny actually, because all my sort of friends of my age who have not traveled with their work, they're all now saying, right, we're now in retirement, we're going to rush off and go all over the world. And I'm thinking, well, actually I've been all over the world, and I want to do the thing. Yeah. So I want to do sort of different kind of things. But I think that I'll always be involved in some way in the arts. And maybe that will be down to sort of composing or just appearing in shows here and then. I don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe I love doing plays. Maybe I'll go more into the acting side and play sort of a few roles, small roles, whatever. I've had such an illustrious and wonderful life that I feel happy to go with whatever really God and the world has planned for me.
Well, if you still plan to go into more of the arts, just don't forget us here in Manila because we would definitely buy a ticket for that. And
Oh,
again,
thank
you're just so
you.
fantastic. Okay, here's a question from the Philippine Daily Inquirer from Alan Policarpio. Can you tell us about the kind of preparation or discipline that goes behind a demanding concert tour? Do you seek additional lessons or training for your voice?
I actually do continue always to do training with teachers and professors because especially in the female's voice, our voices change. They become richer. They take on sort of different sounds and tones within them. So I've always taken great care, and I work with different people all over the world to keep this up. It's very important. You're always learning, and especially if you're very interested in voice and the vocal sounds that are made within that and with other people's. It's very important to understand sort of different forms of teaching, sort of that are now present and not so old-fashioned, and also going into the future. So this is a personal interest of mine anyway. So I would say I'm probably training every day for about 2 hours, and if I'm working on repertoire, it will be longer than that. So yes, it goes on. It will always go on.
A true master, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. 2 hours a day minimum. It sounds tough, but that is exactly
well,
why you are who you are.
Yeah. Well, it's also, you have to remember that the vocal muscle, I mean, we're like sports people, really. It's something you have to keep going, keep strong, and work with all the time. So, and I'm one of those people that unless I can give audiences my best, there's no point in doing it. So that's why I keep everything up so carefully.
Awesome. Thanks again, Miss Sarah, for answering that question. Now we've got a question here from Gilbert Kim of the Daily Tribune. You have a new album coming out titled France, which will be released on the 20th of November, exclusively in France, and digitally on the 6th of November. What is your favorite song from the album and why?
The French album. It's I'm not sure I have a favorite. What was so lovely about doing the French album was that I was able to work, and I've always loved France, and I have a small home there in the south. It was lovely to work with all the different artists, French artists on the album, and go over there and do the lovely TV shows that they have in Paris. It's very lovely in France. They have a huge respect for artists, and a lot is done for them. They're very careful with them, and we really, really feel that. We feel that sort of love from the French people to artists. So it was a lovely album to make. Of course, a lot of the songs have been done in different ways on various other albums that I've done. So it's very enjoyable to do some of them mixed with the French language as well. So but it is, as you say, it's exclusively for France, and people I think can buy it outside, but it's mainly released for that particular market.
Maybe that's my time to finally learn how to speak the French language. And maybe first thing is to learn the French language. Second of all, buy your album when it comes out. Hopefully by then I'm already good to understand the music. But yeah, again, I'm very sure it's something wonderful. And the album is going to be wonderful. All right. Now we have a question here from the Daily Tribune from Natalie Tomada. Oh, rather from Natalie Tomada of the Philippine Star. Being in the Philippines for an incredible, being in the business for an incredible 40 years, what advice can you give artists about having longevity and staying power?
My advice, I'm afraid, is rather an old-fashioned one. It starts in an old-fashioned, old-school way, in that you have to be prepared to put 150% into it. If you want to be truly great and have a huge, long career, you have to kind of devote a lot of your life to it, and there are a lot of sacrifices. This in a nowadays sort of society, obviously with internet and everything that we have available to us, yes, you could get famous very quick, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that would last for that long, because you have to have the sort of material of yourself being at excellence to sort of then carry that wonderful moment that you have in the media. You have to be able to carry that on through pure hard work and through talent and what you've put together yourself. So I'm afraid it's a bit sort of school teacherish what I'm telling everybody here, but when I was young, the whole thing that we followed was, because you couldn't get famous quickly when I was younger, it was about being as good as you possibly could, working as hard as you possibly could at that, and attaining excellence in whatever you did in the arts, and that was what we went by. So that's really my advice to anybody in the world about working in the entertainment industry and the arts industry. Yeah.
Hard work, but I don't want to work.
I know, but it's you have to. Yeah, then I mean, the hard work, which isn't always enjoyable, is actually what makes the final result, if it's beautiful, enjoyable, and you feel very sort of satisfied by that.
The accomplishment, I get that, and that is why I cannot be someone like Sarah Brightman. I'm just here to host press cons, because what you do, the things you do, and the hours you put into it is just wow. And I guess again that is what makes
But believe me,
right
believe me, I'm not perfect. It's something that I always keep in mind, but I don't always adhere to it. You'll always get those lazy days when you go, oh, I just want to hang out with my dogs and do and eat a lot and have fun.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to still squeeze and hang out with your dogs and just eating this and that and all that. But again, thank you so much for being such a wonderful person, such a very hardworking person to give us the music that you do. And of course, we cannot wait for December to come to actually listen to your performances live on stage. All right. I've got one more question for you, Miss Sarah. Well, actually, not really a question, more of asking you to give a message to your Filipino fans.
I'd just like to say thank you, all of you, for being such wonderful fans and being there. You know, we do receive all the messages that you give to us, and keep an eye on all of that social media side. But just to say that I'm really looking forward to coming to see you all. It's been a long time, and now we've had this very difficult last 3 years over with. It's going to be joyous, and I'm just looking forward, and lots of love to you.
There you go. Thank you so much again, Miss Sarah Brightman. Now, because we've been waiting for this for so long, you know, we're excited to see you. Right now, we're just going to be taking this opportunity to have a photo op with you, a virtual photo op with you. So if you don't mind, everyone, please turn on your cameras so we could flex to our friends that, yeah, we took a photo with Sarah Brightman. How about you? So yeah, again, everyone could turn on their cameras. Please still keep yourself on mute, but yes, you could turn on your cameras so our team could have a virtual photo done, and yeah, send it to you guys very soon. All right. So everyone's camera is on. I'll give you guys like 10 more seconds to turn it on. Anyone else? Going once, going twice, and I believe we are good. Team from our team, I think, is ready to take a photo. So Wilbros live. Smile, everyone. Smile. I'm not gonna be the one taking the photo, so Tran, smile. Wilbros na bahala po. Okay. Okay, one more time. Okay, I think we are good to go. There we go. I guess that is all for now. Thank you so much again, everyone. That is all the time we have. And of course, Miss Sarah, on behalf of Wilbros Live, thank you so much for giving us this chance to talk to you, to ask you the questions, and to our members of the press. Thank you so much for this virtual press con of the world's best-selling soprano, Miss Sarah Brightman. Of course, Sarah Brightman, A Christmas Symphony Tour live in Manila is happening on December 7, 2022. Tickets are now on sale on ticketnet.com.ph and Ticketnet outlets nationwide. Presented, of course, by Wilbros Live and Smart Araneta Coliseum. Thank you so much again, everyone. Once again, my name is Shai. I hope you guys have a great evening. Love you. Bye. Bye, everyone. Sarah, thank you again. Looking forward to December 7. Bye. And being your tour guide.
Thank
Bye,
you. Oh,
everyone.
yes, I will take you up on that. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.